So we've modeled the fog and the high level clouds. So in this video, we are going to set up the shaders for the fog and the high level clouds. So before we do that, let me just hide a few things. So I'm going to hide the initial, like the earlier clouds that we have. I'll hide the close level ground fog and the top clouds as well. And let's come into SharpNet. Now I have a few materials that I had made because I was testing this out. So I'll keep these to one side. We'll come to cloud A and I'll just duplicate that and let's call it fog and we'll assign it there. So if I hit a render, let's see what we get. Yeah, so that's basically what we have. Like we can't really see too much because we had lowered the fog density a lot. So let's just adjust this thing. Okay, so the first thing is we need to adjust the fog density. So I'm going to take this down to about 2. I think 2 should be good. Yeah, there you go. Then the second thing is let's get this slightly reddish. So I'm going to make this about here and then lower the absorption coefficient. So it's a little bit, or actually no, increase it. So it's kind of reddish and it fits there. And we can lower the scatter coefficient. Yeah, let's also increase the old max. Okay, and then I'm just going to come into the viewport. Okay, so what I want to do is I just want to adjust the placing of this. So let's just take this and I'm going to move it a little forward till about here. And then we'll take scale and I'll just scale this out. Yeah, also probably scale it, like, just stretch it out a little bit. Yeah, I think this is good. Yeah, this is perfect. Okay, and then we'll press T and just move it back. Yeah, and then let's just come back to the shader and we will adjust the old max. Okay, let me just do a bucket render to see what we're getting. Yeah, I think this looks fine. Okay, let me just stop this. We'll bring back the original clouds that we have so we can see what we're getting overall. Okay, I adjusted the sampling because I was testing this out. So the sampling, the unified sampling is at 64 by 256. So it's a little bit better than what it was before. And also if you want, you can come into the light dome and you can adjust the samples here. So we could probably make it say 128 and then we can adjust it later. I'm not very good at optimizing renders overall. So this is not really a lesson in how to optimize renders, but I'm assuming Redshift, if you're buying the Redshift version of this. And it blends fairly well with the, with the sky as well. What we can try to do is let this render out. Is I can fade it out towards the top. So I can come in here to the fog and take the fade and the Y fade, I can make it like just take it back a little bit. Okay, let's do another render. I can do a snapshot of this. Yeah, so we can just take snapshot. Okay, and then we'll press play. Yeah, this is a lot better because what you're getting is like this is fading out, and because the sky is also reddish, it sort of blends very nicely with the sky as compared to what we had before. Like this is too dense. So this blends out a lot better. And you can see it also affects the lighting. Okay, like you can see like the cliffs become a little bit lighter as well. But there you go, this is a lot better. So that's step number 1. Now let's bring back the top clouds. So let me just create a snapshot of this as well. I'll turn this off. So we'll bring up the top clouds, the streaky clouds. And then I'm going to, let's do one thing, like because the clouds are like you have this image and the clouds are pointing in this direction. So let's rotate this. So we'll just press R and I'll just rotate it around. So it is in that direction. Probably take it like this and then move it here. Yeah, I think this will, so it will sort of match with the background sky that we have. Okay, so do the same thing. We'll just come in here. I'll take cloud A. We'll do Control C, Control V. Let's call this top clouds. and we will assign it. Okay. Yeah, let's hit IPR again. So I'm going to turn off bucket render so we can just, render out the whole thing. And let's also do a region. So I'm going to do a region render, place it there. Okay. So again, the first issue is I need to get the density down so we can see it. The second thing is I want to match it to the background. So what we'll do is we'll take the absorption coefficient and make this bluish, so to match the background sky that we're getting. And then just increase lower this. Yeah, and then the scattering tint will make it yellowish. So, or actually, yeah, there you go. So that looks like it's matching with the background. Let me lower this a little bit. Yeah, this looks perfect. See, so it looks like it's matching with the background over there. Yeah, don't make it too bright, then it tends to glow. I don't really want that. Which actually isn't bad because it's matching fairly well with the background over there. Yeah, let me lower this a little bit. Yeah, this is good. Let's try to do a bucket render. So what's good about this is essentially that we are sort of matching it with the background sky. So it looks a little more, the HDR and the cloud sort of mixed together. Okay, let's do one thing. I want to make the material slightly darker. So let me just take this and I'm going to lower the weight. Yeah, I think this is better. It was too bright. Now, as a final thing, we'll just set up the foreground fog. Now, what you need to do is if you want to create like a foreground glowy kind of a fog, then we can use the emission. Yeah, there you go. See, that looks pretty nice. Maybe I can do a final thing. I'll just lower the density a little bit. Yeah, I think that's perfect. Yeah, there you go. That's really good. Let's make it 0.7. Yeah, I think this is great. Okay, so if you want to create like the ground level fog, so what we can do is, I'm going to close this and let me just save this. And let's do one thing. Let's bring in the ground level fog. I'm going to duplicate the fog material. So let me just come in here and we'll duplicate this. So Control C, Control V. We'll assign it to that. We'll call it glow fog. And let's do one thing. We'll hit the IPR and we'll do a region render. Okay, so I'm just going to bring it down here. Yeah, so we have some fog in the foreground now. Yeah, so let's say if we want this fog to sort of, glow a little bit or something like that. So the first thing is if you want it denser, we can just take this and lower the value. And then you can try to increase the scatter coefficient, which will make it brighter. See, so there you go. So that looks so if you want a bluish fog in the foreground, then you can do it this way. So what we can do is, let me just take this foreground fog. Yeah, let me just see if I can get it closer. Yeah, I think this is nice. Yeah, so this way you can build a fairly sort of layered kind of a look if you want. Yeah, so let's see the full thing. Yeah, so let's do, as a final thing, we'll bring back the plants as well. So I'll just bring in the instances. Okay, and let's hit a render view. Yeah, actually, this looks nicer. Instead of a blue fog. Yeah, so what I did essentially was, this is a bit of a happy accident, is I made it more yellowish, like the absorption ramp, and just increase the absorption coefficient. So it looks, a little more early morning. Yeah, there you go. That looks pretty decent. Okay, let's do a large render. Let's see what we have so far. So I'll just come to the camera and I'll multiply this by 2. Okay, and then we'll do a large render. Yeah, so there you go. So this is the full thing. Let me I sort of upped the saturation a bit, which is why it's looking really, really red over there. But yeah, this is looking pretty decent. So anyway, so now that we have the basic scene done overall, we need to start adding in the VFX elements. So with the next lesson, we'll start off with making the exhaust for the bus, and then we'll continue from there.